Wouldn't Ma be proud to see her son here today, all dressed in fine armour and standing next to the new Emperor as one of the fine Reichsguard? Well, she might have been proud if she hadn't been hung 10 years ago. Harbouring dangerous criminals in a barn, the magistrate said. Some stupid young kids just trying to steal extra food for the village due to the famine. Still, that's just the way things are. The high and mighty say we're needed to farm their fields, pave their roads, fight in their wars. But when they don't need you anymore, they chew you up and spit you out. I've always hated them. Hated the priests telling me to be grateful for my lot in life. Hated the lords for telling me to be proud to live my life in service to the gods that never come when you need them. Hated these emperors who think they're any different from people like me. No, change has been needed for a long time. Proper change. And proper change does not come when you ask nicely. It only comes through blood and sacrifice. I had to play the part of a good soldier for many years now. There aren't that many of us in the Reichsguard. They really do make sure to seed out the weak and heretical. But that doesn't matter. 'Cause today only a few of us needed to be here in this room, while all the others are guarding the wrong places. Only a few of us needed to be ready to strike, ready to bring about the end of this sodding, hypocritical, rotten empire. You probably think me a mad fool, but in the new world, it's people like me will finally have a say. Will it be pretty? No. But true change never is. At the appointed time we shall rise from our secret places. Chaos will cover the land, and we, the chosen servants of chaos, will be exalted in his eyes. Hail to Zeech, changer of the ways, Nijar, Thak, Lizbar, Zeech! This is Red Moon Roleplaying. The man with the ridiculous haircut finally stops clapping and begins to speak to all three of you. Bravo, my friends. Bravo. As always, well done, Siegfrieda. You, as always, were the one who had the smallest chance of figuring it out. Well, a little. But unfortunately, too little and too late. But well done all the same. But I'm afraid it's over. I win. Wonderful playing with you. Your silence hangs for a moment, and the figure just steps over, bows a little. Are you truly all shocked into silence? No Heinrich saying, in the name of Sigmar, damn you, Siegfrieda, where's the witty comeback? I'm a cowardly messenger, remember? You know exactly what I am, you always have, so why are you all shocked and surprised? Isn't this exactly how things were supposed to go? No?
No, I'm not going to get pulled into having a dialogue with this creature. They always end the same way. But I will stare. Indignant, less shocked, more angry. This was inevitable. I foresaw it. But that doesn't mean it doesn't hurt.
You three are truly just going to stand and glare at me silently, are you? Tough. You're going to speak. If you don't, I can keep this moment lasting 100 years. Doesn't matter to me, I've got all the time in the world, but I think after a first 10 years you're going to start getting a bit annoyed. Don't worry, I'll end it much sooner. But none of this silence. Please. It's awfully rude.
I haven't once cared for the games you play in all the time you've known me.
No, and it's over. I said at the end I'd tell you everything, and now it's over. You don't want to know anything? You don't even want to know why I've won. There isn't going to be any, oh, actually, you haven't won. Oh, I'm very disappointed. Kruger, come on, you begin the proceedings. What's going on? What's happening? How is this possible? I am an open book. And Siegfrieda loves open books, doesn't she, Heinrich?
Well, then tell us, why are you doing this? And what are you trying to achieve?
The end of your empire, and it's begun. In about, let's see, 10 or 20 minutes, give or take. The ritual is already, as you can see, complete. Crown Prince Wolfgang has been prepared his whole life by his tutors. They're just over there. Again, they weren't important to your inventions. They were actually a legacy of Castelliberung. We can get to that, I suppose. The short version is, well, he's coming. Who's coming, Siegfrieda? Come on, you know. You've known for some time.
Would it be Tzinch or one of Tzinch's many revolting champions?
The figure moves to you slowly and flicks you just a little in the nose. Enough games, Siegfrieda. You know their name. Stop lying to your friends. She knows who it is, she just doesn't want to say it because, well, Heinrich already knows, but Kruger, you don't know. She's been dabbling a little in chaos. She really thought she couldn't do it, but she has. So, Siegfrieda, please, you are an intelligent human being. Say the answer. 2 + 2 is 4, and who is coming forth? And you do know the answer. You've known it for some time, Siegfrieda. If only it had come a little sooner. Shira Getru.
I keep my teeth clenched, and while I do not say the word Shira Getru, I am sure that this being can read it on my face, can read my mind. I am sure that it has all the power of a deity to do whatever it wishes.
It seems that way, doesn't it? Yet it just stands there for a moment or two and says, well, then I'm not going to say either. Sorry, Kruger, you'll have to wait. Someone is coming. Siegfrieda knows who, but her pride will always be her downfall. Suffice to say, they're coming. And about 20 minutes. When they arrive, the portals you can see starting to form above your head. Have a look. He points upwards, and you can see on the great cathedral glass that something is swirling in the air, a sort of purple shape. The portals will solidify, and so many of my dear friends will then come through, and we will ravage your empire and take it and change it for the better. So that's what we're doing, Kruger. Again. It's quite simple, really. Is it really that strange that was what we wanted?
I'm going to interrupt before Kruger can speak. This is all of this is for you, isn't it? It's just a plaything. All of this. These campaigns, these murders, all to make the Empire fall. And I seriously would have credited godlike beings of having slightly more grandiose aims. You know, creating worlds, creating life, or indeed ending it on a mass scale, maybe. Grand experiments creating stars and moons, sending meteorites hurling through the sky, even moons crashing into the ground, maybe. But this ambition to be fulfilled in such a human scale of time, 20 minutes, to snuff out an empire, that's the work of petty warlords, of orcs and goblins and humans and elves for that matter. And you consider yourselves better than us? Somehow wiser or possessed of more power? You're nothing more than just bandits.
He comes over and smiles wide. Oh no, Siegfrieda, we're making mistakes. I'm not a god. I've told you that. I do not question what my master wants. You can mock Tzeentch if you wish. They don't truly care, I don't think. But no, you see, the end of your empire is merely the icing on the cake. And yes, he who must not be named, again, Kruger, Heinrich, she knows the name. He who must not be named, yes, they're a bit angry about what happened to them. No, I wanted to tell a great joke. And I have. Can you guess why? What about all this is actually funny? Come, Siegfrieda, you're the smart one, but Heinrich, Kruger, come on, pipe up. You're not actually stupid. The whole point is you've always been actually very skilled, very proficient. You've always done exactly as you needed to do. If you just died, well, this wouldn't have worked so well. It wouldn't be so funny. What's the joke, Siegfrieda? What do you think?
I have to confess I've always had a terrible sense of humour.
Oh, that's all right. I enjoy telling the jokes. I enjoy... You know, there's a human saying that you ruin a joke by spoiling the punchline, by explaining it. I highly disagree. I think it's the best part. Heinrich Schelf, come on up. You get your chance. What's so funny about all this?
I mean this with all sincerity that I can muster. I don't know.
Kruger, any guesses? I'll explain. I'm going to explain, but it's fun. Let's have a chat. You've earned it. I am a gracious winner, and I would love to chat with you before it all truly ends. This might be the last time, so just have a guess for fun.
You do it because you can.
No. It's funny, because it's the heroes of the Empire who made this all possible. I couldn't have won without you, Free. You were essential. To a point, at least. Yes, I did some things on my own, but the Pista resistance was always you, Free. Now come on, Kruger, this is where you say, that's impossible.
Well, is it? Doesn't seem impossible, does it?
No. Come on, Heinrich Schelf. Champion of Sigmar, you tell me it's impossible. You've served your god faithfully. You've triumphed every single time, from Bogenhafen to Middenheim. How is it even remotely possible? This is because of you. I'll give you a clue. He leans forward and pats you on the shoulder. What are you, Free? Are you commoners? A riverman? A thief? A apprentice? Or are you something else? What do you think? What word am I looking for? It begins with H.
Is this the part where you tell me that we're only heroes because you've allowed all the events to take place so we could go bring the Warhammer back here and then you could kill everyone when they were around the Warhammer and end the world?
Ha! I actually laugh out that. No. This is where he says, we're heroes, and we are the instruments of the Empire's destruction. Therefore, it's a great irony, you see, Heinrich Kruger, that we are going to be responsible. Is that it? Is that the punchline?
Oh, Siegfrieda's almost got it, yes.
Did we bring a cursed object back? What do I win?
Oh, you didn't bring a cursed object back? That didn't matter. It mattered where you took it from.
Well, do tell. It seems you have a captive audience.
Well, you tell me, Siegfrieda.
No.
Well, then tell me this at least. Did I overdo it? Did I show my hand a little when I said, leave this place? Don't come here. You will regret coming here. I thought I was. But you thought you knew exactly what I was trying to do. I was trying to stop you because I was cowardly. I was so scared of the heroes of Middenheim successfully getting the hammer. Oh, no. What's something demons can't do, Heinrich Schilf? In regard to holy hammers? Come on, you can guess this.
You can't carry it.
Exactly, yes, yes. No demon can touch or carry a warhammer like that, the Galmaraz, and interestingly enough, not even a human with chaotic influences. No, no, no. Only the worthy, the true, could grasp such a thing. That's what Sigmar intended when he used it to seal away a greater demon. Are we beginning to get a little picture now, Heinrich Schilf? Kruger, maybe? Wasn't it awfully convenient? Trials of fire and ice and wind or whatever. And Siegfrieda, she ran forward with a scalpel and just slew a great chaos sorcerer just like that. Oh, it had to be real, don't get me wrong. It was real. But it also wasn't quite real, was it?
You do love the sound of your own voice, don't you?
Yes. And he comes over and grins. I do. I'm a showman, an entertainer, a performer. And I have performed a great story for Tzeentch. You have successfully done it, of course. But wait, Kruger, and he comes over to you. You're chosen by Sigmar, aren't you? Well, no. Did you ever find it funny how so many things would always slightly go your way, and you'd always say, it's fated. It must be Sigmar's will. This is our fate. You never thought there might be someone else behind the wheel, did you? An architect of fate. No?
No, I didn't.
Well, there was. You have been chosen. Chosen by Tzeentch. Congratulations. You three have been brilliant heralds of their coming.
So now what?
Well, now what indeed? I'm having fun. We're nearly finished, but not quite. Are you not going to remotely refute that? How could you be chosen? I'll tell you how. Do you want to know how? Because you want change. Am I wrong, Kruger Hoffman? Have you not always wanted change? You can refute me.
I suppose. This world has to be better than it is. It can be.
Exactly. You were a thief, a lowly street rat. But you were not happy with that. You did not wish for that to be your world, and so you sought change. You sought to better yourself. And then, when you saw a corrupt world, you sought to change it for the better, despite those who said otherwise. Heinrich Schilf, tell me I'm wrong. You were a boatman, a sailor on the winds, and then a champion. But that was not good enough. That was not good enough. You had to change this world for the better. You personally. The people around you, your superiors, they didn't know what they were doing. But you would, and you would change it, and you did. And Siegfrieda, come on. The champion of change, the dove of Shalia. The entire medical system, the very way medicine is researched, will be changed by you, your elders, your betters, those who said beware. Fools. No, all three of you. Beautiful agents of change. Tell me I'm wrong. Tell me I'm lying. I've told you this whole time I've never lied.
Well, you are wrong.
Oh? You haven't wanted to become a champion of Sigmar and become a great witch hunter and destroy chaos and change the world for the better. You've hated it. I forced you. I, through manipulation, made you do what you've done. Trickery. No. Lies. Always lies. No. Heinrich, tell me my first lie.
Oh, no, you're telling the truth. I was just hoping that would cause you to move on.
They smile and clap. You see, Siegfrieda, this is why in the end it was easy. Their ignorance. Do you know that she championed you two? When we mentioned this before, long ago. She said, maybe not ignorance, but your blessed convictions were what would win this, that she was the one who was wrong, delving into things, learning things, and oh, you learnt so many things, Siegfrieda. The wonders you would have found. But she stopped herself, Kruger, for you two, always stopping herself, because that was wrong. Siegfrieda, come. You were right. If you had ignored your friends, if you'd counseled them and they'd listened to you, you could have stopped this. You would have learned about me, about this. You didn't do it because you believed in their god. At least partially. You never believed in yourself. You have great pride, but you never truly believe in yourself, do you?
Well, I shrug again. It looks like you have written all of our biographies.
Well, you're the ones being boring and not refuting any of it.
Oh, we've tried, but I think you are fairly convinced of your opinion. And what I have learned as a doctor is when dealing with someone who is clearly insane, it's sometimes best to just go along with them until you can find the right opportunity.
Well, what will that be? When will that be? I suppose we'll see then. But yes, it's almost over. And yes, all thanks to you, Free, because you released the seal. You understand that now, yes? You broke it, and you couldn't have done that if you hadn't become what you became. But no, Heinrich Schilf, he steps over again. I didn't make you heroes. You did. Every achievement was yours. I couldn't have manipulated you even if I wanted to. That's why it's so funny. Because by not doing anything, really, other than helping you out every now and then, you did it all yourselves. And you never once questioned yourselves. Never once thought you could be wrong. Is that wrong?
Oh, surely you're not going to fall for this joke again.
Bravado to the last. Ah, well. So no questions at all. It's the end of the game. I said I'd answer anything, Heinrich Schilf. I'll answer truthfully. You really don't care. You're really so certain that this is all a nonsense speech that, the Empire ending right in front of you doesn't matter at all.
It's not that it doesn't matter. I will grieve the loss of these lives. I fear the world you will usher in. But the purpose of this exercise is not to prevent that from happening. There's no answer I could give. There's no question I could ask that would change what's about to happen. Which means this, and I'll just gesture at the three of us frozen in time with him, is nothing more than an exercise for your masturbatory satisfaction.
I mean, that's true, I suppose. But you are making it not as fun as it should be.
Oh, sorry.
If you'd like to have fun, then let's unfreeze it. Let's watch the explosion happen, or we can stay here and the two of us, we can fight until one of us dies. I'm assuming that if I tried to do that now, he would stop the bullet from exiting the pistol or keep my sword in my sheath, whatever, but there are plenty of ways we can have fun.
You are safe for the moment, and we'll get to that, I suppose. But I need my fun. I'm going to have it. But you are robbing me a little of it. Well done, I suppose. Humans can always be relied into self-delusion. What about you, Kruger Hoffman? Just dead silent the whole time. You're not as confident as the others, are you? I can feel it. Are you not even wondering why it's funny that you look like Castaliberung? No?
I suppose I always wondered why. I just thought that it was fate. Was there some greater reason behind it? Was that why I was chosen? Because I happened to look like him?
Well, no. It was fate that he was your brother. Your twin brother. They were going to play a big part in all this, and then they died on a road. That's fate for you sometimes. But then the stars aligned, and there you were, and you were so much better than them. They were going to rile up some trouble, make the cult come forth. Come, Siegfried, aren't you even wondering why the Purple Hand was so weak and stupid and pathetic?
Certainly, I never put it down to our competence. If you have been watching us all along, I think you'll find that we were often walking about, questioning the serendipity of it all. And it seems that you have been our benefactor.
Partially. See, when I designed the Purple Hand a few thousand years ago, well, they couldn't be too competent, could they? After all, if they were too competent, they'd get ideas. They'd rise up, they'd do what humans do. You saw it in that silly little Law Lord. Remember? Lord Wasmere? I want to control the city of Middenheim. You didn't think that was the plan of Tzeentch, did you? That was his plan. A silly plan. It would have gone well, though. Luckily for you three, I told them to wait. I said, oh, be careful with those three. Don't let them interrupt the scheme, but don't do anything rash. That Brunhilde woman, or she was going to burn down that inn the first night, but I made sure you were fine. And you do remember, Kruger. Yes, you never learnt... Why? There was that weird moment with Wasmere where he accused someone by the name of Gideon of being one of you lot, one of your allies.
Yes.
It didn't make any sense then, but it seems now it does.
I suppose it does. Was all part of the big plan then. Well played.
Thank you. Yes, you needed a foe you could defeat. You needed a foe that were in the right places at the right time, still able to do their job, and they have. I mean, all three of you can surely guess how this was achieved. Who was in charge of the security of this room today?
Lady Yana.
There we go. Yes, she's been a good Magister Mystery, hasn't she? Excellent job. So many things couldn't have been achieved in Altdorf if someone of her power and influence hadn't been in every position at every time to make sure things went well. Oh, I'm being mean. She did her job very well. She's probably one of the most competent little servants I have. Better than that Wasmere, better than all those other fools. But no, most of them needed to fall. To you. So you could rise. Just enough. Didn't it feel wonderful, Kruger? Clearing a whole city? Didn't you enjoy it? Come, I know I've been harsh this talk, but I want one of you to deny that you haven't enjoyed being a hero. Even you, Siegfrieda, you've hated it. I know that. Well done, you. But the potential for change, you've craved it.
This entire experience has seen me lifted out of poverty, slavery practically, and abuse, and given me the opportunity to be someone I have not. So absolutely I am an icon of change. I am the avatar of Tzeentch. I am elated, orgasmic, with the evolution of my character. I have metamorphosized. Are you happy to hear me say that?
Yes. We'll see if it's true shortly. What about you, Heinrich? Still super confident? I've explained quite a few things. Do you deny that you've enjoyed your ascent to power? I think you've loved it, every moment. And even though I've helped you, it was always you. I can take no credit for that. Are you going to renounce it all now it turns out it was for a bad cause?
No. Assuming that I'm still alive when this spell ends and the Crown Prince dies?
You will be. Do you really think I'm going to kill you with a wave of my hand? You've earned the right for a final stand. I told you I play fair. I always have. I've even helped. How many times, he comes to you, Kruger, have I helped? I don't mean inadvertently, I mean face to face. Do you remember when Siegfrieda says, every time I've come before you, I've withheld information and lied? Have a guess how many times I've come before you. I'm going to tell you, just have a guess.
I have no idea. It's been such a long journey. 100 times?
Oh, that would be a little overabundant. He steps back and waves his hand over his face, and suddenly before you is an old fisherman. Now this old fisherman none of you recognize, but you, Heinrich, do recall the smell of the River Reich. Now, I was just an old fisherman then, but I gave you some advice. I mentioned how heroes were needed, do you remember that? He waved his hand again, and this time is a small halfling woman. You don't recognize this person either, but she's wearing coach attire, and she smells of burning, of fire. And you remember that smell, Kruger, the smell of that burning village on the way to Middenheim. Do you remember, Kruger? I mentioned that these were terrible times. Heroes were needed. You nodded, you agreed. I was really just trying to help. He waved his hand again, and comes over to you, Siegfrieda. And this individual you do recognize. Bright blue eyes, doctor's attire. That physician on the front line, the one you smacked in the face. I have to say, my lady, I was very, very tempted to blow the whole show when you smacked me in the face. I was going to tear your throat out, but then I thought, no, let's play along. And that was, did you not have some fun? I was helping you heal some people. It was a novel experience. I really thought I'd given it away with the name. Do you remember? You even commented on how silly a name I had.
Yes, well, we're all very impressed by your mummery.
He shakes his face once more. And now a little girl comes to you, Kruger. The little girl from the crowd. Have you still got my doll, Mr. Kruger? Did that fill you with glory? Were you going to save me?
I was.
The girl grins, and the figure bows once more as he returns to the other form. And you say I haven't helped. I've been your biggest supporters the whole way. I had to be. I had to give you hope. Hope that will now be lost. Do you know how many souls believe in you free? How many believe you to be their saviors, even though you've tried, Siegfrieda, you, Kruger, and Heinrich, you didn't try at all. They are going to be crushed when the Empire falls because of you.
That, I feel, very much remains to be seen.
And he pauses for a moment. And is silent. And his words sink in. Kruger, you have presented a brave front, maybe even a front where you don't truly understand what's going on. But the words, they start seeping in. Chosen of Tzeentch, all this fated to release a demon and end the Empire. And the little girl, that little girl, and are you truly on the inside as brave as you seem? Are you truly not even just a little starting to wonder, what if the being is telling the truth? What if you have doomed the Empire and everyone you love? What are you thinking?
Well, I'm thinking, if that is true, then that's not how this can end. This story isn't done yet.
Heinrich Schilf, a beacon of virtue. You have taunted the demon. It has not sunk its teeth into you. But is that true? You suddenly find yourself thinking of your father, thinking of that boy, the one in the village. And, well, then something that the demon hasn't even brought up, but you think of how you're in Altdorf, the Grand Theogenist, the height of the Sigmarite faith. It occurs to you, this is happening here. Not in Middenheim. Here. How can Sigmar be letting this happen? Unless you have been instrumental in the downfall of the Empire. What are you truly thinking deep down?
I have only been instrumental insofar as there are things in this world I do not understand. But the only way that I could be defeated in this moment is to 1, perish, or 2, give up. There is always redemption in the eyes of Sigmar. This demon might win now, but once before, a scion of man has brought stability and peace to this world. It can happen again.
Siegfrieda, you've stood your ground. You've not let this thing sway you. But suddenly there's a sickness in your stomach. A whisper in your ear. It's all true, the whisper says. You could have seen this coming. You did see it coming. And you didn't warn your friends because you were... Well, why? Why did you never tell them? Why did you never hit Heinrich in the face and say, stop believing in Sigmar and listen to reason? Why did you never stop Kruger going on and on about fate? Fate. It was fate. Again, you are your own person, but your corruption is at maximum, and it is really, really whispering to you that the demon isn't lying. Everything it is saying is true. How are you feeling inside?
Strangely resilient, which may not be the expected response. There's a lot of things that I can't control and a lot of things that grind me down. Mostly it's human things, human interactions, human expectations to do with my class, as in society, my profession, my self-doubt. But when faced with a creature like this, and being forced to bear witness to his fantastic pantomime that he seems to expect us to be impressed by, all it does is make me more and more stubborn. I'm not going to break down because I'm being tormented. I'll break down on my own time. But here, to this thing, all of this thing is, yes, a successful puppeteer, but something just utterly in love with itself. And all it does is make me feel sick and angry, but not sad and not defeated.
Perhaps that is why that corruption just sits there, deep but controlled. The being rolled its head around a little. Well, perhaps in a way, this is what I created. You are truly heroes, and you will stand to the end. That's what I thought. I'll make the offer anyway. I was always going to. You have done well after all. But I have a feeling it's wasted on Kruger and Heinrich. I'll make it to you, Siegfrieda. Then he steps over. And don't lie. I can see the corruption that fills you. And she is full of it, Heinrich. Almost ready to burst. But I am the one holding it back a little, because I don't want you to turn into a beast in front of your friends, and it would be boring. So I'm holding it back just a little. I won't be able to do that for long, though. Why don't you just accept it, Siegfrieda? You've never cared about the games of demons. You've never cared about the Empire. You've cared about your friends, and your little dog, and your patience. So, he extends a hand. All you have to do is embrace Tzeentch. Accept them as your savior, or your god, or your mentor, whatever, and let your true self come out. You can take your friends with you. You can forge your own little realm. It won't matter when the end begins. You're wrong about just the Empire ending. This is the beginning. With the Empire falling, soon the rest of the old world will fall as well. Tzeentch will win the great game over his dear grandfather, his dear blood brother, and his darling sister of delights. They will win. It's inevitable. You can be on the winning side. You don't even need to be friends with me. You can even use your power and try and strike at me, and I'll scream in pain and walk off. It doesn't matter. You know I speak the truth. Be gone from this empire. Let them die. Let them change. A lot of them want it, you know. They all want it, really. Change. Change is not good or evil. It simply is.
And so here's the part where I'm supposed to accept Tzeentch into my heart, and... You're not just mad, you are stupid. Every ounce of corruption in my soul is there because I put it there. Because that was the surgery I performed on myself by choosing to read those books, by delving as deep as I was interested to. Not because there was some demonic entity in front of me promising me whatever it is you're promising. No, and the idea that you could tempt me, believe me, there is every possibility that in the weeks, months, years, if I survive whatever is coming to come, I will become some unholy wretch and my friends will need to put me down. I hope that it doesn't happen, but there's the possibility of it. It won't be because you offered it to me as a gift. So, with as much courtesy as I can muster for a middle clerk like you, a bureaucrat of cosmology, you can take your offer and insert it somewhere in your person.
And you don't need to roll intuition, Siegfried. You haven't thrown this demon off, you haven't conquered them, but there is irritation. You have irritated them just a little. As they say, wasted potential. That's what irritates me, Siegfried. You would have been a divine god. Never mind. You can die with your friends, I assume. I'm not going to kill you. I'm going to give you all a little head start. If you want to flee, you can flee, but I have a feeling you won't. Also, I assume I was right. Heinrich Kruger, you're picking the die bravely option, yes?
Yes, that's how this story has to end. Or, not.
Tragic stories that end that way. But I suppose good enough. And let me guess, Heinrich, something about you'll do it in the name of Sigmar? Or your name of yourself, I suppose, would be more fitting.
Yes, I intend to kill you for me.
I guess there are no more questions then. I think I've explained enough. You have brought about the Empire's end through your own actions. If you hadn't had such hubris, you might have seen it coming. But maybe not. Suffice to say, well, Shira Gertrude's coming. There we are, Siegfried. Well done.
Oh, I was just about to say the name and you got there before me. Oh.
Oh. Wait, there is one last thing. I don't break a promise, Heinrich Schilf. You wanted to know my name and who I am. Do you still wish that information?
Would it please you to tell me? Then no.
Ha! Oh, well, very well done, Heinrich. I do have a sense of humour.
The figure twirls in the air before you, and a wash of blue-purple fire suddenly causes all three of you to shield your eyes for a moment. The being before you, you've actually seen before, very, very long ago, in a warehouse in Bogenhafen that wasn't quite so large. 3 arms it has, coming from a strange nebulous cloak, with a dark void where its face should be, and a strange bird-like mask, which you thought was its face, but it's just a mask it pulls off, carrying in another hand, one of those hands, a staff. I am no messenger, and no clerk diplomat, Lady Siegfrieda. I am... well, I don't know. My name is forgotten even to me, Heinrich Schilf. But I do know what I am, and that is always my master's changeling. And it has been a pleasure entertaining you, even if you are ungrateful. And the being bows and throws its hands into the air. All 3 of you feel time begin to move again, but it moves in a strange and ungainly fashion. You are being hoisted from your chairs by some sort of force. You are being thrown out of this chamber. As this is happening, it almost happens in a strange slow motion. You see several other people are not having the same treatment and are simply falling to the ground. You see suddenly from Prince Wolfgang a great gout of purple fire begin to emerge as they scream in the air and begin to float. as a runic circle appears around them on the floor. You see the Grand Theogenist falling to the ground, eyes vacant, dead. You see the High Patriarch, the wizard, lift his hands up, the only one not being thrown back, and starting to chant something, raising his staff in the air. And you see all this before being thrown outside onto the ground in front of the doors, which then slam shut before you. As you are thrown to the ground, and it seems time is slowly starting again. Very slowly, but it is starting again. What are you going to do?
I'm wasting no time of it. This demon might have cast me out, but I have not made it this far by being anything less than indomitable. So the second that I can find myself on my feet, ensure that I am still armed, I'm going to hurl myself at the door until it breaks or until somebody identifies a better way inside. I don't care if the Empire ends at this point. I will kill that creature one way or another.
Indeed. That is what you shall do. And what of you, Kruger? Again, time hasn't quite started yet, but it's starting again, and you can see in the slowness you think Heinrich is going to go straight for those doors. Although you have to admit, will that be enough? You sort of turn your head a little, and just as time starts again, you notice 20 members of the Reichsguard slowly standing, raising their spears, and at their front, Lady Jana Zutermine, smiling as she looks at you three. What are you thinking? And what are you going to try and do with what might be the end of your life?
Well, I know that I have a fate, a special destiny. But it sure is not to destroy the Empire. I won't allow that to happen. And I'm gonna die trying to prevent that.
And Siegfrieda. Luckily, it's an odd thought. It occurs to you that for some reason, maybe it was your dreamlike state, Erica wasn't actually with you just now. She was in the foyer with all your friends, with Leah. So at least she's safe. What are you going to do? A summoning is being completed. Multiple guards, it seems, are about to assault you. And, well, you just have yourself and your friends. And your stomach is churning as you keep resisting, but have so much corruption in you weighing you down. And, of course, you showed that demon, but was it truly wrong? Can you do something still? What are you thinking?
My thinking is that there is only one way out of this, and it is through some precision surgery. It worked once before. If this Jana Zutermine is there, I will try to get to her with my scalpel. If she is incanting, casting some spell, even better, because she's going to have to stop doing that to stop me from slicing her neck open.
And so the three of you get ready. But could all three of you roll an intuition check, please? And you, Heinrich Schilf, can have a plus 20.
Well, that won't help. 95.
I use a point of fortune and I roll 59 on 59.
I got a very good 2.
Ooh, that does beat the others quite a bit. And it's as you're thinking that, Siegfrieda, that one thing suddenly sticks out in your mind. You've just been taunted, humiliated, jested in front of, and it was all very funny and silly. And it did cover an awful lot of things. Except one part. Never in the entire conversation did this creature mention Wittgendorf. There was no mockings about killings of sisters, no mockings about working with thieves, no mocking of being in a temple and Heinrich doing things you couldn't explain. Did it not mention it because it isn't aware of everything? There are gaps in its knowledge. It even, you recall at one point in one of those dream conversations, mentioned losing track of you for a bit. Is there some significance to that? that it didn't know what happened there. In particular, regarding Heinrich and his magic sword, and in his own testimony speaking of seeing Sigmar, who apparently you've never truly been helped by.
Well, that is good to know, but I have no idea what to do with that information.
Maybe it can come up at a more, less dangerous moment. Suffice to say, the three of you get ready.
You have listened to an episode of Red Moon Roleplaying, where we play the legendary campaign The Enemy Within for Warhammer Fantasy Roleplay 4th Edition, published by Cubicle 7. In this final part of the series, we are tackling Empire in Ruins. Joining us as players in this series are none other than Aaron Hammonds from Queen's Court Games and our dear friend Matthew Dawkins. The music was made by Flowers for Body Snatchers, Wordclock, Metatron Omega, Aegersonus, Apocryphus, Halgrath, and Northumbria, featuring a number of collaborations with other artists, and was used with permission from their label Cryochamber. Check out their website at cryochamber.bandcamp.com or their YouTube channel for some moody dark ambient. We would like to give massive thanks to our champions of the Red Moon, Martin Heuschober, Simon Cooper, Julia, Camilla, Bob Lange, Cameron, Graham Barey, Dick Thomson, Lily, Maciej, Black Templar, Dennis Sadecki, and Leonhardt for their generous support. And would of course also like to thank all of our other patrons. Without your support, the show would not be possible. If you want to support our work, please check us out on Patreon. You can get access to our Warhammer Fantasy Roleplay bonus campaign, Rough Nights and Hard Days, as well as bonus campaigns for Warhammer 40k Imperium Maledictum, Cult of Indeed Lost, and Call of Cthulhu there. On top of that, we also offer early and raw access to all of our recordings. You can also hear your name read on the show as a champion of the Red Moon, as well as play some Cult with us. Most importantly, that support is what keeps the show going, so do check us out there. Thank you again for listening, and remember that Skaven are definitely not real, and even if they were, the Emperor has already dealt with that threat long ago.